I love hearing other players and hear the road they go down because
Mhm.
that's not my road, and I'm fascinated by it. Like, wow, how did you? Uh, who's the bass player? Garrison, who plays kind of with his thumb.
Yes. Yep.
Wow, what a great player, man! Just
Yeah.
amazing, uh, mind blowing. And a bunch of other guys. Victor, of course. Uh, and
Yes.
the usual suspects. But there's another 40 or 50 brand new guys too that are just amazing. So
Yes.
the solo that I do, or the way that I approach it, is just kind of been a naturally occurring thing. I never really know what I'm going to do. I have
Mm.
pieces and parts that I can reassemble, but what goes
Yeah.
on between them sometimes is unknown to me. And I like
Okay.
that in that it forces me to be in the moment. I got to think
Got
on
it.
my feet. It's not like I learned this long solo. I'm going to do that solo that I learned and practice and learn. There's a real art to that. I'm not dismissing that in any way, shape, or form. That to be able to duplicate a piece over and over so precisely, that's amazing. That's quite an incredible thing and accomplishment. But I'm more of an improv player. So my challenge is to think of something.
Mhm.
What about this? And when you're live and you're in front of people, there has to be some kind of a certainty built into your understanding of what you're doing to have the
Yeah.
confidence to just start moving around where you really don't know where it's going to end.
Mm.
So
Vinny Colaiuta calls that thought versus flow. That if you think you're dead, so you just got to go with what you know.
yeah, I say if you think you stink.
If you think you
Mm.
stink,
I like that.
True.
If you think you stink,
Very true.
you should
Uh,
make that into a T-shirt. If you think you stink,
say again.
you should make
it's
that into a
a
T-shirt.
t-shirt.
You think you
Yeah.
stink.
Yeah, I've used that quote, and you see it happening. And I see players when they're thinking. You can
Mm.
see it when they're
Oh, a
thinking.
lot.
And they're kind of thinking, no, I'm
Brooke
gonna.
Stride.
You're out of the moment. It's like if you're watching an actor read his lines, but behind the camera is a thing with the words on it.
Teleprompter or
Yeah.
something.
Not really saying it from the heart. I don't know. So some can get away with it, I'm
Mhm.
sure, but reading off a teleprompter or speaking from your heart is a great parallel and analogy to that. Uh,
Yes.
so you're speaking from your heart when you're making it up, and most anybody can do it. I mean, people, younger players will ask me, "Well, how do I improvise?" I say, "Well, you start by just playing and
Mm.
learning some songs and doing the things, and then while you're doing that, do a little change and do something else, and then go off on your own." It's not unlike speaking because right now we're improvising. We're not
Yeah.
have any
Yeah.
script. None
No,
of
we
Yeah.
don't
it.
script.
But we don't.
I'm going to ask a question. It was we were talking about all kinds of topics, and one of the things that I've been listening to on and off again, but it got because you're here, it gets revisited. Is I think it was Mr. Big. You're opening up for Rush, and somebody says to Billy Sheehan, "Geddy Lee isn't here. We need you to sound check." And could you talk about how that happened?
Yeah, there was a bicycle, and I was just riding it around the arena, and Getty was stuck in traffic coming down from LA. He said, "Hey Billy, come here a minute." I said, we need to have somebody play the bass to do the sound check. I go, "Oh, I'll be glad to." And it was I think it was one of Getty's wall basses.
That's the rumor. That's the story.
All
Yeah,
these. All these.
and it was cool. They were the nicest people in the world. Alex and Neil, we just kind of got up there, and Neil did a beat, and we just played, and they were just wonderful people. Getty is a saint. They all are, and they were so kind to us. They let us come up and play with them on the encore. I don't know if they did that with any other band ever before.
I had seen you guys at the Meadowlands in New Jersey when that's when they called it. I don't know what they call it now, MetLife Center or something. But I don't know where that occurred, but to hear the interaction with another player, because being a hardcore Rush fan at the time, you would never think that somebody was going to break into that
Yeah.
sphere
Yeah.
of, let alone playing with them, sound checking for them, and to hear what you play, from a bass player fan's perspective. There's such a unique on that third identity on that stage that's like, well, nobody else but Billy Sheehan could really do it anyway.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I think anybody could have gone out there and played, and I think it would have adapted itself to
what they were doing.
Component parts. It was just they were just so kind to us. I remember our first couple of shows. Getty came up to me or Alex or somebody said, "Well, where have you guys been? We get done with the show and you're not around anywhere." And I go, "Well, we didn't. We're in the dressing room. Oh, you mean we can go in there?" I go, "Yeah, sure." That was a mistake. So we're in there,
pierce the veil,
and lobster and eating all their stuff and everything. But they were so great and so generous to us and so